civilians.
I can't make this go away for you.
The firelights have been a thorn in both our sides.
One shudders to imagine what inhuman thoughts lie behind that mask.
More lives may be lost.
There are people down there who seem hell-bent on destroying us.
Dreams of chronic and sustained cruelty.
I want to talk to you today about how Arcane lies to you as to who the Lord of the Firelights is. I don't just mean in terms of
Who the hell are you?
I mean what drives the Lord and the choices that they make. The cinematography and the plotting get across that the Lord is a threat, a loose cannon, an antagonist. This misdirection means we feel the impact hard when we learn how the Lord truly embodies heroic virtues, trust, self-sacrifice, and even mercy. Flashing and strobing may affect photosensitive viewers.
What are you calling this one?
This video contains spoilers for the following properties: Arcane Season 1, Men in Black 3,
And I need you to tell me that I'm good. Tell me, please tell me that I'm good.
I will.
the character teaser Seconds. This video does not contain any spoilers for Season 2 of Arcane. Enjoy the video.
Stick with us. Take a punch or two.
I made them for the enforcers. These are smoke bombs, and those two are full of nails.
Rich Piltover sends enforcers to oppress the poor Undercity. Silco is Undercity Pablo Escobar and sells super soldier Shimmer. Silco coups good guy Vander. Vander's family comes to the rescue, but his troubled daughter Powder accidentally kills the family. Her sister Vi survives, to be jailed by Piltover. Silco adopts Powder. Sorted? A time skip takes us into Act 2.
By and I started working on Arcane like 3 years ago.
Oh wow.
And so as time has gone by, I'm just as excited now, and then when I saw the show, it was like weeks before, and I was like, oh, this is different.
The Lord of the Firelights is introduced to us boarding a blimp.
Airship, actually. An airship has a rigid metal hull. It's not a blimp.
Sorry, okay? With one purpose: destroying Shimmer. No backstory, no exposition. This is show don't tell. Maybe his gang holds a mafia-esque disgust for drugs. Maybe they're simply crashing Silco's market share to boost their own product. The Firelights are not soldiers in any state-sanctioned war on drugs. Then Powder,
Hi.
now known as Jinx, guns a Firelight down. The Lord attacks. A comrade intervenes, delaying vengeance for another day. As the audience, we have been put on notice. These two now have a specific reason for conflict.
A brawl is surely brewing.
We're given almost no information on the Firelights across Act 2. The only descriptions come from unreliable narrators. They fade into the background, next appearing at the end of Episode 6. The way they stalk around the edge of the picture symbolizes the dangers of the Undercity, how Vi's hometown has changed during her years in jail, and how this is hostile territory for the enforcer Caitlin. Kate has freed Vi to serve as her guide.
Silco, the industrialist.
Okay, this is getting old.
Vi reunites with Jinx.
It's me, Vi.
From earlier?
Yeah, kid, we remember. Don't you have, some places to be?
See? They always work it out. And I don't even see any blood this time. That's progress.
The Firelights attack. Why? They are tracking the gemstone that Jinx stole from Kate's friend Chase.
The gemstone is gone.
Half a dozen enforcers. Dead! Enforcers! Dead!
Yeah.
They know enough to know what it is, and they want that power for themselves. Even if that means swinging lethal weapons against sympathetic characters, Kate, Vi, even Jinx to an extent. Right away, the show has signaled they may be the enemy of your enemy, but they're also just your enemy. Once Plague Doctor naps the gemstone, the Firelights kidnap Vi and Kate and escape Jinx. Now she has good reason to hunt the Lord down, but the rule of threes, our instinct is that, if they meet again, you can't expect them to fight.
A great slam and then some.
Vi is handcuffed and head-bagged who knows where. She doesn't know what'll happen to her, or Caitlin. But a captor moving to take their mask off is never a good sign. That's them telling you, normally I would care about keeping my identity hidden, but you won't be leaving here to tell anybody who...
You're good for a dead girl.
How are you even cooler under your mask?
I was just cool the whole time.
I like your haircut.
You don't get to like my haircut. I missed you, little man.
4 children fleeing the scene. What the hell were you thinking?
You're looking for 4 children. The ones running circles round Piltover's finest.
4 sump rats will do. Search the place.
We do know this guy. Let's hop back to Act 1, before the time skip. This is Little Man. He helps with the tools in Benzo's shop.
Give me a few seconds.
And he is wicked smart. He built a secret camera inside, and a motorcycle. For all his genius and grind set, he's not a little man, he's a chipper tween who looks up to Vi.
Oh, did Vi kick their asses?
Yeah, I wouldn't be here otherwise.
He gets powder like no one else does. Out of the friend group, they're the 2 young tagalongs. For the kids, the lanes of the Undercity are their playground. But what future can Little Man look forward to? Piltover treats the Undercity as a source of cheap, low-skilled labor.
Whether you're the scion of our high houses or an honest laborer from the underground,
It's a metaphor for capitalism.
Piltover prosper beyond anything we could have ever imagined.
And ignores sickness and need. There's no path forward in STEM education or employment for fisherfolk. Little Man might one day inherit the corner store, but as to the miracle of the poor kid from the Undercity who made it big and made a difference,
It's a world of technology kind of taking over and us feeling like we're losing control over it.
well, odds are poor. Victor was their last success story, and his chance only arrived when Topside happened to patronize him. He and Jace stabilize Hex crystals into gemstones.
You have to crank it. Yes, you have to crank it.
You got a point there, crank back 3 times.
But even then, fellow Boffin Heimerdinger lectures them on safety.
Give it a decade of careful research, and it will be ready.
That we will share with you when the time is right.
Powder blows crystals up and kills her family. Piltover's tech isn't just better great, it's better for doing good, and Topside ain't sharing.
They're dangerous. I'm from the Undercity.
Poor fisherfolk who can't afford stuff, steal stuff.
Keep an eye out for anything that looks valuable, Powder, before Milo fills the bag with junk.
Man, not again. I just got this shirt.
Who would take their case on the council? Enforcers prejudge even children as criminals. Echo grows up in a community that can't just go to the cops when victimized, they loathe law enforcement. Vander presents peace and justice for the lanes, guaranteeing fair deals to the last drop. But trust also entails helping thieves fence stolen goods and addicts find their next hit.
To make other people afraid.
We all know there is a crime behind every coin that passes through this place. And I'm gonna bury the lot of you.
There's no clean way to make a living down here. Vander nags his kids to make a living. They seek tips on Topside joints to crash into and cash out of.
Where did you even get this tip?
Little man.
So, after Jace buys parts for Operation Hex Crystal, Little Man tracks him home to relay his address to Vi. Powder accidentally detonates Jace's apartment, and I cannot stress this enough, in this volatile world, screw-ups, and it's usually Powder, keep blowing stuff up!
Master could do that.
In a cave with a box of scraps!
Oh! Yeah.
Vi and Vander offer peace to the Enforcers, but the corruptible Marcus notifies Silco. Silco shimmifies street urchin Deckard and crashes their party. Little Man has, unwittingly, sowed the seeds of disaster.
A few moments later.
This wasn't the deal!
Deal's changed.
We have 5 minutes till they're out of there.
When Doom arrives, all Little Man's genius means is that he can watch through his camera as a terrifying brute rips his dad apart. There is nothing he can do. And yet, at this darkest hour, he exhibits incredible courage. The first sign he's not just the stereotype of a nerdy kid. There is something he can do. He risks life and limb to track the beast back to its lair. When he returns to free Vi, she embraces him to ask where Silco took Vander.
What about Vander? Where? Echo followed them. The old cannery next to the docks.
She leaves to rescue her father. She leaves him there alone, sobbing in the dark, windows painted red. She won't come back. Neither will Clagger. Neither will Milo. Neither will Powder. In the years to come, he wishes that he joined the rescue, and he learns an important lesson. You can't undo the past through wishful thinking.
If I just went with you that day, maybe none of this would have happened.
All that lies down that path is madness. You must walk a different path.
That's a good way to drive yourself crazy.
He's alone in the shop, under a watchful eye. Just another orphan in the slums. Silco will want to tie up loose ends. In an interview, Riot Franco revealed a scrapped flashback following Echo during this time, and instead chose to camouflage him. Only once he drops the mask can we analyze him like a Vi or a Jinx. When we meet Vi and Powder again, they resemble their younger selves, just more bellicose. Jace and Victor have the same motives, they're just more motivated, and so on. What does the Lord have in common with the Little Man? Tough versus trusting, cautious versus cheerful. What happened in the intervening years? Silco's money and muscle hijacked Vander's last drop. Even the children of Chimbarons slave away in factories that have only replaced the mines. Inequality with Piltover yawns wider than ever.
The topsiders are leaving us further and further behind.
The weak and unsafe, Shimmer addicts, cartel victims, children need a protector, and Echo feels their pain. Nobody should have to, but somebody had to step up against evil. Cleverness is matched with courage as he designs hoverboards to take to the skies. Silco gets out his swatter to whack the stinging firelights. Marcus, now Enforcer Chief, reports that the firelights are murderous terrors.
I can't make this go away for you unless you give me something to work with.
The firelights have been a thorn in both our sides.
Giving Mel her excuse to pressure Jace, build weapons. The malignance of Silco and the Undercity, the greedy council on top, crooked enforcers. Again and again on all sides, factions decide that the firelights are the enemy. The mini music video Misfit Toys showcases how the firelights developed. It's giving Toy Story. Growing up for these youth equals being tossed away like firelight bugs. Misfit Toys denounces the system and warns, don't play with the misfits. Threats and cynicism abound, but their society runs deeper than that. These are the lost children of Neverland,
I arrived with something completely different from the board. He was a little bit pissed and walking slower and giving a small attitude, movement to say, yeah, I'm the one controlling the stuff.
You
would not believe your eyes if 10 million
The Tree Dawns is one of the brightest and most peaceful settings in the entire season, complete with a unique sight for the season, a baby. If the ones you care about cannot protect themselves, you bring them here. Throughout Season 1 of Arcane, characters choose one priority.
Save the baby, all of the children.
Here, casualties of the drug war get a second chance at their humanity. They get to be kids, to have fun. Echo, a local, understands something their rulers on high never could. Echo needed Benzo far more than he ever needed Benzo's shop. He moved on from there, literally, to somewhere safe and bright with the right people. He's an unemployed, uneducated outlaw, and he couldn't be doing better. Shimmer radiates out from the last drop.
Everyone, out.
Never trust a bartender.
The tree draws in sufferers to leech that venom away. The Firelights do the job that the Enforcers won't, and far less destructively. Their weapons build instead of destroying, their airship survives. The only deaths are Firelights who knew the risks. They have none of the trappings of traditional legitimacy, no government sanction or intrinsic right, but they are of the community, for the community, by the community. And that's gotta count for something. Then again, they did attack Fire earlier. If the tree is so peaceful, how come he's still so combative? Then again, she's the one who taught Echo to come in guns blazing. He used to back down, now he stands up. Little Man is just a young adult, but he has had to grow up so much with much yet to learn. Twice now he's missed his chance to take down Jinx, and once he's attacked a friend. How can he make the right decisions?
The necessary decisions to keep us safe.
Take Vander's example. He doesn't resist Deckard, and 2 of his children pay the price. Stimulated on Shimmer, he knows he could squash Silco once and for all. Or he could attempt to rescue Vi. End a life for certain, or take a chance to save a life. He chooses her, and she fails to save Powder. Echo argues, surrounded by saved children, that Powder's gone. Jinx is the enemy now. Just think what that means in practical terms. Does he have it in him to knock around his childhood friend? To kill her? Even if he's doing the right thing. Can his soul survive? He has had to mourn her passing once already. On their mural of the Muerta, right next to Powder, Plague Dog paints Jinx as victim. Echo has refused to whitewash Powder away. Is Echo wrong to remember a murderer from when she was innocent, or has he accepted who she's become? Does the mural help or hinder that process? The enemy is Silco, Savika, Jinx, and Grayson, Marcus, Catelyn. The only reason Echo should trust her is Vi's word. He uncuffs Kate. She pleads with him, give the gemstone back to Jace. Echo must choose.
This is highly irregular. The council has held 7 seats for generations.
My little sister could do that when she was 7. All us fisherfolk can. Don't you want to blend in?
Echo could return the gemstone, trust Kate to gain passage to Jace. If Echo doesn't, the blockade will continue and forces will come down hard. War brews again.
Well, if the Enforcers hit tonight, we'll be ready.
And as Vander argued, who are you willing to lose? Can you make the choice for others to thrust them into a war zone? Echo doesn't know how clueless Jace is. Even Victor, in his fatalistic mood,
Scattered to the wind.
insists they can choose peace.
There is always a choice.
You didn't have a choice.
Jace tunes his closest friend out. Echo's caliber of leader simply isn't to be found elsewhere. Institutions topside and bottom, the council, the academy, the Chem Barons, have not produced anyone better. Echo could keep the gemstone.
Why shouldn't I keep it?
Craft a weapon of war, and finally turn the tables on Silco. Eliminate the biggest threat to the Undercity, He caused all the tragedies whose survivors Echo sees around him every day. He turned Powder into a monster. He created Jinx. Kill him, and you purge his corruption once and for all. Ramping up war means more blood on Echo's hands. In a tight-knit community like theirs, trauma affects everybody. Even if they topple Silco, Singe, the Chem Barons, and
There's bigger fish than Silco.
the war won't end. Echo listens to Vi, and even to Kate. Against all the evidence of his raids and his rhetoric, he puts hope ahead of strength and blood. Better a chance at more peace than the guarantee of more war. He's stepping up again, the teenager who grew from shop helper to folk hero to the representative of an entire nation. The die is cast, all because, even after everything, a child of the Undercity has not forsaken hope. He never lost faith. He never stopped trusting. The gemstone is on its way.
One condition. I'm the one who gives it to them.
With the enforcers on the lookout for firelights, Echo must leave his mask behind and risk Topside knowing his identity. He has no family left for enemies to hurt. Vi does. She must go back for Jinx. Against all of Echo's arguments, all the evidence of his eyes, the friends he has seen die. Echo accepts her choice. We thought he had ridden Jinx off, but his actions belie the conflict within him. Even if he thinks there's no hope for her, he understands somebody else still caring about Powder. He's left with an enforcer, escorting him, head of the Firelight Gang, to her boss. Echo does not want to show Marcus the gemstone as proof. He chooses to trust Marcus anyway, because Caitlin trusts Marcus, because Vi trusts Caitlin. Echo doesn't need to like the Pilties. He just needs to roll the dice on.
Everything is going to right now.
Everybody standing took a hit. Vi and Jinx were out of the zone of fire. So was a fine actor playing the role of just another murder victim from the lanes, with a bullet in his chest plate and a hoverboard on his back. Echo swoops in. He's not waging war by attacking Jinx. He's pursuing peace by snatching back the gemstone case. But recovering that is not enough. The blockade's blown away, and his introduction to Jace can barely stand up straight. He could abandon her to Jinx, flee with the gemstone. He hands them the case. Go on without me. The time to fight is now.
Oh, look who it is. Boy! Wanna see some Michael Jackson dance moves? If I bring a couple rounds with me, then we all the crown with me. The kings can't break your neck. Your head like this might kick your butt. Go run them up and pick. You go and save yourself. Thought you had my number, huh? Congratulations, played yourself. He did those moves at the Grammys.
This match will get red hot. Now go!
Fortitia's creators frequently record real-life references to base their scenes on.
I have the opportunity to work with my son to make the movement of Echo young. Yeah, it was so cool to share that with him.
Embodying the spirit of the showdown, Echo can, uniquely, play in Jinx's fun land, the same way they did as kids. As Echo ducks one bullet, the casing stands out. Maybe Jinx shot that at him too. A different day, lower stakes. She missed then. She hits now. At least, she would when they used to play. We all love this scene. The funny thing is, the first time I saw this, I thought, I've seen this before, and I've never seen anybody else mention this, so allow me to present how Fortiche possibly took their inspiration from Men in Black 3. The time-traveling Agent J bull rushes the deadly Boris. Unsurprisingly, J gets shot 4 times. His suicidal charge turns into a time jump. Boris doesn't remember that she's fired this pattern before. J does. He dodges all 4 and reaches Jinx, and he kills Boris.
I am the monster you created.
Firelights protect and care for victims of Silco. Sometimes that means hurting Silco's mobsters and taking hits, so the kids don't have to. Jinx is kids. She has inflicted horrific violence, and she has suffered terribly. Protecting his friend was one thing. Beating his friend bloody is another.
Who she's become, this Jinx that she's become, is just a deeply rooted, very difficult trauma response that she's developed because she's gone through things no one should ever have to go through.
Yet he realizes that you can change the past that Jinx is stuck reenacting. Just as she missed her shots, he can drop his fist. Echo hasn't lost the little man inside him. He's simply grown, evolved, but deep within him still lies a sweet, well-meaning kid. They can both survive the bridge. Jinx can change, perhaps given time, powder.
Get here, cupcake.
10 out of 10, Toots. I know just how to deliver that message.
Jinx filched the gemstone from its case. She knew how Echo would fight, that he would do the right thing first, that he'd think he knows her. Silco will find the gemstone as the life leaves her body. Her final message: finish the plan. One last gesture of love. Echo's decision ensures that Kate and Vi reach the council. He averted a war. He saved a lot of lives. His choice worked as intended. He could never have predicted what would come next. Singed brings back Jinx all wrong. Jace defies the council, attacks Silco, kills Aken Baron's child,
My little sister could do that when she was 7.
which triggers a failed coup that spooks Silco to mull over Jace's final condition for peace. Hand over Jinx.
My favorite scene is at the end when Silco is like, I never would have given them up to you. You know, I'm an emotional type of person.
And when Jinx racks Silco's body with bullets, she inherits his plan.
You have to complete the weapon.
And a gemstone. If Echo had chosen war, Jace and Victor would never have gathered the council to sign a peace deal on the day that a rocket crashed through the window. Through no fault of his own, once again, Echo has changed the timeline from what could have been.
Alright, today we're gonna make a 11, 12-year-old girl cry.
Sisters.
And
brothers.
We have surely lost our way.
There is one more egghead not yet cracked. Long since tossed aside by Piltover, Heimerdinger truffles about for ways to be useful to Zord. They wouldn't trust him to tie a balloon animal. He trudges to nowhere.
It's designed for the fissures. It is denser. You look good for a dead boy.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
Once more with clarity, Echo accepts help from the former councillor. What choice does he have? He has to get back to the people who need him. Echo's dizzying ascent continues. He never asked for this, but he has chosen his responsibility. What drives him on and on ceaselessly against the current at this breakneck pace of achievement? Season 2 may have answers for Heimerdinger and for us. To look for clues, we can go back to the genesis of the Echo character and watch Seconds right now.
People waste a lot of time, then they wish for more.
Echo's childhood was timeless, pressure-free, stable, fun. Then he lost them all. No matter how hard he wished he could, all his smarts couldn't turn back the clock on tragedy. Vi suffered the same trauma. She is determined to recreate the past through sheer force of will by dragging Jinx back. He has grieved through the mural and chosen to protect others from the same fate. The road is so hard for him, as it is for Vi. They are both incredibly persistent, strong people. But where she has chosen poorly, he has chosen wisely. The carefree joy and easy company of childhood is alluring, but you can't carry on that magic by freezing the past in amber.
Here's the thing about time. If you can't make the most out of any given moment,
that road only leads Vi, in the end, to Jinx's twisted tea party and tragedy.
Bravo, sis.
you don't deserve a single extra second.
The boy savior can't save everybody, because nobody can predict everything, least of all in a war zone. He can only prevent the next Jinx and protect those who can still be saved. Zorn's children need a future. Echo must find the beauty in each new day, just as well as they could all those years ago. He leads the Firelights into this brave new world. Nobody knows what comes next. They have to choose their future, day by day, hour by hour, minute to minute, down to the seconds. There's no time to waste.
Oh, this is cool, you know, a black kid, he's a scientist, he's super sick, you know, and then when I got in, I was like, oh, this is a lot bigger than I thought.
Did a number on her.
Oh, really? Which number?
Not enough to give people what they need to survive. You have to give them what they need to live.